Welcome to Coffee and Tarot with Mama T. My name is Teresa, and I am welcoming you, my Leo friends, and Spirit in for a reading for the month of December and a look back at 2025 and a look forward into 2026. We'll also be talking about self-care and support actions that you can take for the month of December and any advanced gifts or themes that Spirit has for you in the year of 2026 as we look forward into the new year. We are going to be using the Wandering Star Tarot for our tarot deck and the Folklore Oracle for the Oracle deck. And we are going to kick off with the tarot. We'll put these off to the side and we're going to just dig right in. We're going to be talking about the areas of love and relationships, career and finances, and self and spirit. And we'll start off with the lessons that were learned over the course of 2025. I'm going to just dig in here. Find out what our tarot cards have to say for you, Leo. One more shuffle and we will pull a card for love and relationships. Any lessons that Leo has learned in this area of life over the course of 2025. What do you have, Spirit? The card we get is Strength. That is a great card for that. It's you. It's your card. And then for career and finances, what did Leo learn in 2025 in this area, Spirit? The Five of Cups. Okay, we'll talk through that. And then in the area of self and spirituality or spirit connection, what did Leo learn here in 2025? Get the Knight of Swords. Okay. Now, before we talk about the lessons learned on these cards, we are going to pull the cards for the next row because I want to see how these energies interplay with each other. So what actions does Leo need to take to integrate or transmute these lessons from 2025 as they move into 2026? What do you have for them in the area of love and relationship, Spirit? We get the Creator. This is one of the extra cards. And then what do we have in the area of career and finances for Leo in this column, Spirit? What actions do they need to take to integrate the lessons from 2025 or to transmute them? Get the Two of Wands. All right. And then what do we have for actions to take to integrate or transmute lessons from 2025 into 2026? The area of self and spirit connection. All right. What do we have? The Hermit. Okay, let's talk these through. So the year of 2025 taught you lessons in strength in the area of love and relationships. Some of the key words that are written right on this card are courage, strength, and control. One of the lessons of the strength card is we develop our strength through daily consistent action. This girl has to feed this lion every single day. She sticks her hand right in his mouth, and the way that she's able to do that with courage and strength and control is by doing it every single day in order to keep her lion tame. If she takes any time off, then she's going to have to retame that lion or, lose her hand or something. She's got to stay on top of this. And that's the way we develop any kind of strength. And you've developed strength in your close relationships over the course of 2025 through your daily consistent actions. You have trained yourself to take the proper actions, to say the proper things, and to communicate in such a way as to really convey your feelings to the people that you love and care about. And you've been able to um, strengthen those relationships with those folks through those daily consistent actions, that training of yourself um, daily over time. How you're going to integrate that into 2026 is through the creator. And this card, the only keyword on it is no. So let me go to the guidebook to see what the creator card means. The creator. The creator card signifies that there's powerful energy brewing in the atmosphere around you. It may feel overwhelming and tinged with an undertone of darkness. Indeed, you may feel the urge to run and find shelter from the storm, but trust that you are ready to transmute this force into something that will propel you forward on your path. This card is also here to remind you of the power of the word no. No to things that overwhelm or undermine. No to people who drain your life source. No to thoughts that drag you into despair. You are mightier than you think, and a glimmer of faith paired with a solid intention can give you the power to harness lightning. Each day you have the choice to be the victim of fear and circumstance or the creator of a new consciousness. Choose wisely. And then the quote that's included here is from Bethany Webster, and it says, "Your no is a sword that cuts away the non-essential so that you can live the fullest life." So you are taking this daily consistent action that you've developed over the course of the year and these strong relationships that you've developed, and you are taking that energy into 2026 with the ability to make choices and determinations and say no to any of these relationships that are there out of obligation or that are there as a drain on your energy. Anything that is no longer serving you, you're going to be able to say no to because of the strength that you have developed over the course of 2025. All right, I like the sounds of that. All right, then in the area of career and finances, you had the card of the Five of Cups. Now, the story on the Five of Cups is that this person is mourning the loss of their taste for their wine. They used to love to have their wine, and they can no longer taste it, or it no longer tastes good to them, and they are sad about that. Normally, the two full glasses are behind them, and all they have to really do is turn around and look behind them and see that there's something better for them. They might be sad about what they've lost here, but there is something better waiting for them. And if they follow the path where that something better is, it will take them over this bridge that's in the background to this mansion, and their ultimate happiness. The keywords here are loss, leaving, sorrow, and it's just a disappointment. But it's easily solved by looking around and seeing what is available. So this, in the area of career and finances, you maybe had a financial setback, perhaps a career change that made you feel sad, made you feel like you've lost something. But sometimes those things are removed from our lives so that we can go on to something better. There's so often we choose to just keep something just because it's what we have, and the universe wants to give us something even better. And if we don't make that choice to go after it ourselves, sometimes they will, create that opportunity or that reason for us to go looking for it. They will kind of grease the wheels for us and, remove this thing that we were hung up on so that we can finally notice the better thing that's waiting for us. So maybe you had a career setback or a financial setback in 2025 that has you feeling a little disappointed. But if you just look around, then the abundance is waiting for you just on the other side. The card that you get for transmuting this into 2026, so you get Two of Wands, and the Two of Wands card is about plans, partnership, and influence. It's about making choices and looking around and dreaming. It's, looking out at the world around you and thinking about the possibilities of what it is that you would love to have in your life. And the Two Cups, they're depicted right here in these two wands. All you have to do is dream a little bit, and the possibilities are endless. In most depictions of this card, the person who's looking out at the world around them, they are holding one wand in one hand and a globe in the other, and they are dreaming big, and they've made a choice of which of the wands that they're taking with them and which one they are leaving behind. That's really all you have to do. You've had this loss. Now it's time to dream and move forward. Okay. And then in the area of self and spirit, the card that you get here is for 2025 is the Knight of Swords. The keywords here are highs, lows, conflict, tension. The Knight has big ideas and plans and can be a little bit energetic and maybe, getting involved in aggressiveness and conflict in trying to bring those plans about. But the Knight, he wants to take action and he wants to move forward. He's charging forward into the future. And they're in this area of self and spirit. You may have experienced some of those highs and lows and a sense of tension and conflict as you've tried to balance things. And maybe you've moved forward too quickly at certain times or been a little bit too assertive or too much in your head. And, now is the time for a little bit of a slowing down. The energy that you are moving into 2026 with in this area of your life is kind of a hermit energy, healing, solitude, inner work. And so Spirit's saying, slow down, slow your roll, turn inward a little bit. And the hermit is always carrying this light, and this light contains the star. And that's the star of hope and dreams. And so the hermit likes to retreat, study, consult sources of wisdom and guidance that from either books or from their own creative reflection and doing inner work. And this brings about a great amount of healing. And to have this show up in your area of self and spirit connection is perfect. So, you might have had a little bit too much on your plate for you to focus on that much this last year. But in the year of 2026, you'll be moving more into this energy, at least in this area of your life. Okay, so now let's go to the oracle cards, and we're going to look at some self-care and support actions or ideas that you can take to wrap up the year. Spirit, what do we have for this, for self-care and support for the sign of Leo in the area of love and relationships? All right. We have an amulet. And the question at the bottom of this card is, how are you protected? And that is something to consider in the area of love and relationships. How are you protecting yourself in the area of love and relationships? And how are you protecting those people that you love and protecting your primary love relationship, whoever that may be with, whether it's romantic love or not? We'll talk more about that in a minute. Let's look at a card in this area of self-care and support in career and finances for 2025. How to finish the year up. We get Kaliak, and the question is, what wisdom are you gathering? We'll look at that in a moment too. We're going to turn to the guidebook for these. And then for in the area of self and spiritual connection, let's see what we have here. Stolen child. What love can you offer the child you once were? So towards the end of the year, you're being called to do a little bit of shadow work and a little bit of healing for your inner child. So let's look at the guidebook and see what these cards have to say for us. The first one is a number 38. For those of you who are into the numerology, this would be a number 11 card. An amulet. How are you protected? So life is uncertain. It's riddled with fears, anxieties, and even strokes of bad luck. At times it feels like a breath held in or fingers too shaky to fill empty pages. A talisman reminds you to exhale, to drop the burden of a barren notebook. What form does your talisman take? Is it a favorite poem, taped to your mirror, or etched in black ink across your skin? A found feather, a charm on your bracelet? When you feel like the world is spinning out of your control, is there something that you can cling to? Some small but powerful beacon of influence over your fate, like a hag's whispered spell. There is more to the world than meets the eye. With so much out of our hands, remember that some forces can be harnessed to remind us of our agency. So charms and amulets can sometimes go alongside rituals passed down from generation to generation. And all of those rituals or those different practices that you may not even realize are rituals, maybe it's something that's so baked into your life you don't even realize it's there. Those all carry that power and that weight and the calling of the unseen protectors in your life. So, thinking about different physical things that you can hold on to remind you of what's most important and what needs protecting in your life, that is something that you can look to in the area of self-care and support in love and relationships. So thinking about that, it could be something like your wedding ring or a favorite necklace, or maybe it's a crystal that you carry to remind you to protect your feelings for your spouse or children or your friends or whatever it is that whatever relationship is most important that you feel needs some protecting or that you need self-care or support in as you wrapping up this year. Now for Kaliak, what wisdom are you gathering in the area of career and finances? Let's see what we have here. This is number 26 card. So this is an 8. Let's see here. Old age, especially for women, is often portrayed as a time of decline and weakening. We're expected to disappear from society, deemed of little use. The Kaliak turns this notion upside down. True elders possessed important wisdom, having allowed their knowledge to ripen until ready for the next generation to pluck. They carry on traditions and old ways of living, relying less on the mercurial whirl of modernity and more on their innermost rhythms. They are free. How are you allowing yourself to age? And do you embrace the maturation of your inner power? So this is asking you to look at that experience and that wisdom that comes with time that you've either earned through your own age yourself and how it applies to your career and your finances, or if you are a younger person, this is calling you to reach out to one of your elders and ask their advice, or look at the way that they've conducted themselves in their career or their finances and implement the lessons that you can glean from them in your own life. This is a time at the end of the year of that self-care and that support and that reflection. And how can you support yourself in this area of career and finances when keeping this kind of concept in mind? Do you need to go back to some of the old ways of thinking and doing business? And I mean, because we're all being pushed to advance and keep up with the hastily changing times and implement AI and do things faster and quicker and more and better. And we may be losing some things along the way. And there might be an opportunity for you to find a way to add a little bit of slowness and deeper appreciation into this area of your life as you're winding up the year. And then in the area of self and spirit, we get this card here where you're being asked to take good care and kindness for your inner child, for that inner child that you once were. Now, shadow work like this and inner child work is not easy stuff. It sounds fluffy and a little bit woo. And for busy people, sometimes they hear inner child stuff and they get impatient with the whole concept of it. But it is deep and powerful work. And sometimes it can be very challenging to go through on your own. So if you do try to do some of this work and you find it um, a little painful or scary, then invite somebody to go into the I always call it the bad neighborhood of my brain. My mind is a dangerous neighborhood. I don't want to go in there by myself. Sometimes you just need to invite somebody to come along with you for the ride, whether that's a therapist or a trusted friend or a family member. Just let them, kind of debrief on some of the lessons that you remembered. An easy way of doing this kind of work at this time of year is to think back over holidays past and what are some of those meaningful memories that you've had from, your childhood when it came to the holidays. Even writing down the stories of several holidays that you remember from your early childhood can help you to unlock some of the lessons that you need to know to support your self-care in this area of your life as you wrap up this year. Okay, let's pull a few more oracles as for looking for some advanced gifts or themes for 2026 from Spirit. What do we have for Leo for some advanced gifts or some themes that they can look forward to in these areas of their life for 2026? Okay, for love, we get mourning, what must be grieved. Doesn't sound like a gift to me, but there is a gift in there, so we'll find it. And then career and finances, divination. How can you integrate logic and intuition? Oh, I love that. And then in the area of self and spiritual connection. Feels like two cards are stuck together, but they're not. We get fever. What needs to be burned away? Okay, so you have a couple of, in this column, you've got a couple of cards that are red here. Actually, in the oracles, 3 out of the 6 have red prominently featured. And when you notice a color sticking out like that, it usually means something. Red is associated with Mars, the red planet, and which is associated with the Roman god of war. So if you know where Mars falls in your astrological chart, then that may have some significance here for 2026. Also, this is a fiery and strong energy, and it can't be ignored. When you have mostly red cards in a multi-card reading, it means you're being asked to pause and register your powerful feelings and ask how to best deal with the influx of energy. How can you make that energy work for you in a way that's both grounded and productive? How can you bask in the vibrancy without burning out? So that it definitely stood out to me. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. But when we have mourning in the section of love and relationships as an advanced theme for 2026, and asks what must be grieved. So you may have some prior love relationship that must be finally let go of. There might be something that you've kind of clung to over the course of time, and you're finally going to be ready to let it go and grieve over it and be done with it. Let me get the guidebook here. Let's see what else it says here. This is a number 19 card. Mourning is a cleansing and vital step along the path toward healing. Only by diving into the depths of grief, even momentarily drowning, can we emerge and breathe freely. In her mourning, Demeter enacts the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, reminding us that grief is not a stagnant lake, but an ocean that ebbs and flows like our own inner worlds. Each minute shift is impossibly moving us through it. How do you adapt to your new self and soften when grief wants you to harden? Those who understand that death is part of life possess the compassion and tenderness the world requires. So this could also be, have to mourn somebody that you deeply love during the course of 2026. And it is part of life, and death comes to us all. You may have a pet that you've lost this year, or some other relationship that you've lost, and in one way or another, either through death or separation or distance. Or this could be somebody who you lost long ago, maybe a parent that you never really properly grieved. In the area of career and finances, they get this card asking, how can you integrate logic and intuition? And I think that's such a great thing to do when it comes to our careers. Being able to be in touch with our gut, but also operating with deep logic and reasoning is a powerful thing. So divination acknowledges uncertainty and the limitations of human knowledge. It cultivates patience and reflection, calling on us to balance the logical and intuitive sides of the mind. Can you learn to integrate both aspects of your psyche? Can you solve problems and make decisions more holistically? While the rational mind often speaks louder, the subconscious is equally passionate. It does, however, speak a language that requires deeper listening. The use of signs and symbols can open the gateway to a more balanced understanding of ourselves and the world around us. So, finding ways to listen to your gut at the same time as listening to your training and your logical brain as well. Just getting those two things married will make you feel more effective and probably improve your performance and appreciation for your job as well. And then the final card, what needs to be burned away? And this is in the area of self and spirit. And this is a number 18 card. And the meaning here is perhaps you crave a place to rest and shelter from the storm, yet flames of fever lick at your forehead, raising away inertia, drawing you to the false quiet of your bed where your mind is anything but calm. Do you feel a fever or fire invading your life? Perhaps you wish to dampen it. You are suffering, after all, wondering when the discomfort will finally end. Yet while there is a time and place for contemplative recovery, for putting out fires, other times you must stand in the flames and let them wash over you. Like a phoenix, you have the power to rise from the ashes and be born anew. So, yeah, there may be times during the course of this year where there are parts of your life that need to be burned away in order for you to be deeply in touch with yourself and deeply in touch with your spiritual connection. And there may be things that just need to be burned away, maybe expectations that you've set on yourself, or obligations that you have in other areas of your life. Just let those things burn away, and that way you can get back down to the heart of the matter. So there we have it. That is your reading for the month of December and looking into 2026. I want to thank you very much for being here with me, Leo. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button on your way out. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I invite you to do so. Whenever you like, comment, or share my videos or watch them all the way to the end, it helps the algorithm and helps my channel to grow. So I appreciate that very much. If you like this kind of content and enjoy readings of various sizes, I do daily card readings. Sometimes I do three card pulls. Sometimes I do larger readings for the collective, or these large readings for each of the signs every month. If you like this kind of content, then you will find plenty of it here. And so I invite you to subscribe and be a part of my community if you do enjoy this stuff. So thank you again for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful December, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye now.